you are thinking about starting a business, you started a business, not quite sure which way to go, been to some meetings, talked to some people, but you're really trying to find a strategy that works for you. Now, one thing that I would definitely say before I really get into it is that you do have to find something that works for you. But I definitely want to share with you 8 strategies that I would use if I started my business today. But first, I need you to please put a like on this video. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you're watching this on YouTube. My name is Utalo Ayi. I'm a social media marketing strategist, and my energy, my focus, my life, the things I love to do is to help entrepreneurs and business owners like you to do things that's going to help grow your business. So let's get into it. Let's talk about these 8 strategies. And as I said before, I'll say this again, you really have to think about things that are going to help you and your method. I have thought about a lot of books that I've read, a lot of things, people talk about doing things this way and that way. Now, there are some things and these things I do suggest, but I really just say you have to find your rhythm. You have to find your way. And that's going to lead into the first thing. So knowing your product or service. So I have a social media company, so I know that I want to help business owners strategically use social media to grow their business. So understanding what your product or service is, that's going to be really key in getting into business and knowing what it is. So that's really the first thing. The next thing is your target audience. Knowing that, for me, I know I want to help business owners. That's kind of the surface. You definitely want to try to dive in deep, but knowing who your target audience is, knowing their location, their demographic, their nationality, maybe age is going to be something important. So I've said this time and time again, helping someone in their 30s is different from helping somebody in their 60s. They're in a different state of their life. They're in a different kind of mindset or focus. So when you're deciding on who your target is and you're getting into the next thing, knowing that age demographic is something that's important, nationality, culture, that could play a factor. That might be something that's important when knowing who your target is. So locking that down is going to be one of the important strategies in knowing who, what, and really building that business, especially if you're doing this stuff today. The next thing is let your friends and family know. Yes, I may get some people that say, look, friends and family don't help sometimes, and that sometimes is the case. Depending on how big your family is, it just depends. I think it's really important that your friends and family know who and what it is that you do. I've had a number of friends that have referred me business from other people. I think it's important that, to an extent, your family understands what it is that you do, because family can refer people. So that can be important, and just making sure that people understand what it is you do. It should be a one sentence what it is that you do. For me, I help business owners strategically use social media to grow their business. You should have an I help line. So that's really important. That one line, that one sentence, a 5th grader and 8th grader should be able to understand it. If it's too complicated and people don't know, they're not going to be able to articulate it. Come up with a list of industries. That's the next thing. Come up with a list of industries that could have the same type of client that you have, but won't be competition. So for me, business owners, I know that if I talk to chamber directors or chamber executives or CEOs of Chamber of Commerce and get to know them and build relationships, because Chamber of Commerce typically have the bulk of their membership are business owners. And so I'm interested in business owners. Accountants, that's a good group for me that I would definitely be interested in and focus it on, because typically accountants that work with business owners are going to be that group that for me would be that pool of people. I would look at attorneys that deal with business owners, so business attorneys, and I could go on. They're just a number. I could go with commercial real estate agents. They're working with business owners. If they're working with commercial properties, they're going to have their tenants that are going to be business owners. So I do have that pool. I know accountants, I know commercial business real estate agents. So commercial insurance agents. That's going to be another category for me. And I do know commercial insurance agents. And knowing them is one piece of it. The next piece of it is being able to be in a position where you help these people. You don't want to be a taker, but what can you do to help that group, that circle, those partnerships that you create? The next thing is planning content. So content can go a couple of ways. You can have print content. You have content that you put on social media, whether that's graphic content or video content. But you want to have content that helps, content that solves the problem. So let's go back to the print side of it. If you're doing print content, that could be a brochure. So say for me, I might put in a brochure 5 things you need to know when using social media to grow your business. And I may list those things in a brochure. So that could actually be print content. So say I'm at an event and I have a booth. I might want to have that print content that I can give to people, something that's tangible that they can hold on to, that's a reference. So what, in your business, what could be a reference guide that could be good print content that you can help? And print content is still good. It's still relevant. People still use it. And then let's segue into social media. So on your social media, having videos that help, having videos that solve a problem, that answer a question, that content is going to be really key and important today when starting that business and getting that customer, because that's building that know, like, trust. Whether it's print content, video content, graphic content would be a infographic or a graphic that has information like your print, but in an electronic form. So those things help you earn that know, like, trust, and it's a great strategy if you're trying to build your business today. Another thing, consider networking events, civic organization, conferences. Those are great ways to network and to meet people, to meet your potential business owners, to meet potential partners that could be potential customers or clients, or lead you to those potential customers or clients. So that's another great way. One thing that's really important, this would be like my number 7, is getting in a mindset of helping. I talk about how you should create content that helps, but you should always be in a mindset to help. So what does that mean? That means that if you're meeting someone, yes, you want to make a sale. Yes, you want to close a deal. But you should always first be in a mindset of, what can I do to help that person? Just imagine how powerful that could be. You want to build know, like, and trust. And with building a know, like, and trust factor when it comes to business, is really considering, what can you do to help? How can I help you? If you meet someone, if you're already in the mindset of how you can help that person, they're going to build rapport. It doesn't work all the time, but I'm going to tell you, it works most of the time. Most of the time, people are going to appreciate if you're stepping up and helping, because they're going to say, you know what, I'm going to refer you, because they're not just out to make money. They're actually out to help. And if you're out to help, in turn, you can make money. So that number 7, definitely be in a mindset of, how can you help? Number 8, most important thing, being consistent. You want to be consistent in business and everything you do. If that's following up when you say you're going to follow up, if that's posting when you plan on posting, and not posting and then not showing up, but posting and showing up, and meaning, like, if you're going to post every Monday, post every Monday. If you're going to post Monday and Tuesday, post every Monday and Tuesday. Not posting 2 or 3 Mondays and Tuesdays and stopping for a couple of weeks. Staying with it, staying consistent with it, and going with it. So let's recap. Number 1, knowing your product or service. That's going to be one of the key components in business, knowing that product or service. Number 2, knowing your target audience. Who is it that you're going to focus on? What group of people, what person, what avatar you want to call it, target customer, client, target audience. Who is that who? Number 3, letting friends, family, and know that you're in business and what you're doing, and making sure they understand what it is that you do. Number 3, coming up with a list of industries that could be in that circle of people. And I make another reference, a photographer. There's a wedding photographer. Wedding photographer is going to have a DJ, is going to have a florist, is going to have a bridal company, is going to have a tuxedo company, it's going to have an event planner. That's that whole circle of industries that you all share clients. So think about the industries that you could partner with, that you could share clients. Number 5, content. Talked about print content, talked about online social media content. But that content, website, that's also content that you need to create. Number 6, considering attending events, whether there's a mosque or a church or a civic organization, networking events, chamber of commerce. Think about events that you can attend that are business events. Yes, churches, some churches do have business events, so events that you can go to that are events. Other organizations have networking events that could be business events, so you can meet people that could be your potential customer or client. Number 7, mindset. Probably should have been number 1, but mindset and the mindset of helping, give. BNI, Business Network International, they have Giver's Gain as one of their core values. You want to be in a give mindset. And then last but not least, being consistent. You want to be consistent. You want to make sure you keep going and don't stop. And if you fall down, if you stop, if you stumble, if you may get back up, keep going, but be consistent. So leave me a comment. Tell me what you think is important when it comes to starting your business. If you were to starting your business today, if you're already in business and you were to start your business today, what would be that priority thing that you would start, that you would make happen? And if these things have helped, let me know in the comments. Let me know that they've helped. I love to bring information about marketing, about networking, about social media that's going to help your business. So definitely check out my other videos.